Look at the dash. Ignition. Listen to this. Welcome back to another video on Dreamscape Automotive. So for anybody that's been following the channel in 2024, you will have already seen the intro to this video, but we are in Mac Motorsport in the background here. So I put that little clip in at the start of the video because we're seeing some pretty sick stuff here. But we're in Mac Motorsport. Marcin's been good enough to keep us back late and do some of the jobs that we just cannot do on the track car. So you see behind me, lots going on. I'll do a tour in a wee minute and you'll get to see something incredibly special that's sitting on the dyno right behind that door there. But the focus of today's video is the track Mini Cooper S. It's sitting in here right now, and as you've seen the last video if you watched it, we fitted the discs and pads, and then when we went to do the braided brake lines, we ended up with the brake pipe twisting, and I just thought my capability finishes here. So I phoned Marcin, who's always been a massive help to us. We kind of work together and help each other, and he said just come and we will do the brake pipes and the braided lines and everything like that so that we don't do it and accidentally do an unsafe job of it. So welcome to today's video. Join us for a whole few hours at Mac Motorsport focused on the track Mini and of course a few other things that are going on in the workshop. And if you're enjoying the content and you're enjoying watching the content about the Mini, which is all about average Joe, a racing driver in collaboration with Bad Boy Tuning, then please hit like, please hit subscribe, and let's do this together today. Right, so intro out the way, let's have a look at what's going on in here. There's quite a lot of exciting stuff happening. First though, let's appreciate the Mini. Just chilling there on the ramp. Ready to get worked on. So we'll cover the list of jobs that today's video is going to cover now, and then we'll go for a wee tour, right? Special stuff here. So today what we're going to do is we're going to get a full alignment done because the car's had some adjustments and it now has got not so straight, and to be honest, it's not had an alignment since we first bought the car, and we went to a track day without an alignment before, and we just felt like the car wasn't as dialed in. So we're going for full track alignment today, and there's going to be some adjustment in the camber settings and the toe settings and whatnot. So we're going to leave that bit up to the professionals, so that's going to get done first. The second job is we're going to do the braided brake lines, and the 660 fluid is going to get put in the system. As I said, when I tried to take the brake line off myself, the brake pipe, the copper brake pipe, that got twisted a little bit. So Marcin is going to get that checked out, make sure we've not damaged it. If we have damaged it, then he's going to get it replaced and we'll be all good to go. What we're then going to do is we're going to get the car up on the floating ramp and we're going to test fit our new wheels. I'm going to turn around and show you them in a minute, but we've had them on the car once with the semi-slicks on, and we've got some issues. If we go no spacer, we start rubbing on the inside of the suspension, and if we run a spacer, we start rubbing on the arches. Right now we've got 18mm spacers, so we have to get it up on the ramp, get the wheels on and do some fine adjustment of measurements to see exactly what size of spacers that we need to run to make this work. So that's going to form part of today as well. So if all goes well and Marcin has got the right size of spacer for us, we will be running the car home with the new wheels. So to summarise that then, alignment, braided lines, 660 brake fluid, and we'll dial in the wheel and tyre situation, and theoretically speaking that should be the Mini ready to go for its next track day, which is on the 8th of February, and it's going to be a massive day of testing. So I'm going to reveal the new wheels just now, give you a look at them, and then I'll get a tour of this shop. So Team Dynamics are obviously the most popular wheel for a race car. We've just went down that route because why would you change what people tell you? So we've went for Team Dynamics Pro Race 1.2s, 17-inch, 7.5J wide, and we've went for Nankang NS-2Rs, 225 45R17. Let's get a look at these. So we've went for like a kind of dark bronze colour. Really nice. Look at those semi-slicks. So we were going to get them refurbished to satin black, but actually there's a massive development in the livery for this car coming very, very soon. Sooner than all you guys think and sooner than I thought. So we decided to just keep the kind of bronze colour of wheel, and we've ended up putting some details of the bronze into the livery, the kind of motorsport wrap. So yeah, so that's us revealed the wheels. We just need to dial them in and get them on the car. So once we've got that all dialed in, we'll do a full review later with the wheels on and everything. But we are moving forward at a pace. So if you're enjoying Average Joe Racing Driver, as I said at the start of the video, in collaboration with Bad Boy Tuning, please hit subscribe, please like, please comment, let us know what you think of the content, and let's go for a tour at my motorsport shop now. Right, you have seen this before in some videos, right? But I just want to, before we get started with the Mini, I just want to go back over it, because the last time we were here was our dyno day, which by the way was an absolute mad day, right? And it's brought in so many customers and it's done so well. So there'll be another one soon, but I just want to cover off some of this, right? So this is the 1900 wheel horsepower Supra, right? That was kind of at the end of the video last time, but now I'm up close and personal with it and there's less people here. So let's get a kind of detailed look at this thing, right? 1900 wheel horsepower. Can you actually believe what I'm just saying there, right? Look at this. So it's obviously full drag spec, like you can see. Parachute, that's when you know it means serious business. It's got a parachute. Carbon everywhere. Carbon doors. Polycarbonate windows. I'm not going to try and open it up or anything because it's not my car, but inside what I can tell you is we've got nitrous, fire suppression system, and what looks to me like the most uncomfortable metal seat that I've ever seen, but obviously it's all about weight saving for drag racing. And as you can see, Plug Mac Motorsport here for doing all the work on this car. Pretty mega, to be honest. So for any of your tuning needs or anything like that, anybody that's interested in working with somebody that is serious about building engines and building high powered fast cars, then hit up Marcin at Mac Motorsport, because you're not going to be in bad hands there. Just standing here looking at this, like being next to something with this amount of power is mental. Sensational, man. So I'm going to speak to him when he gets back, but try and get maybe some figures about this. I'll drop them in after, right? But pff, what a whip. Right, I'm going to head into the dyno room now, right? So this is Marcin's own race car, right? This is a Seat Leon. Started life off as a 1.2 engine car, right? It's now running a VR6 turbo engine with somewhere around 1,000 horsepower. And when I say full race car spec, I mean full race car spec. Let's get a look at this. VR6 turbo engine. I was actually surprised when he told me this, because I just didn't really understand the strength of these engines. Like, you hear about VR6 turbo engines quite a lot, but to be running it in this type of car, it's full carbon body. Like, I'm just going to walk around it before I jump in the driver's seat and show you what it's like inside, right? Total wide body, look how fat the arches are. Get a wee look in there, I'll go in there in a minute. It's obviously got road tyres on it right now, but normally it runs full slicks. in the back. So these are coming from the actual roof scoop up there, and they are coming in there and cooling the actual engine. Which to me, I was like, cooling the engine from there, but the radiators are in the back, so obviously it's full race car built, right? Fully built by Marston, right? All the work done himself. It's running the VR6 turbo engine with basically an RS3 gearbox in it, which is mental. Yeah, it's absolutely, it's just insane, man. Obviously with the track car build of the Mini, you know, we're like amateur people just trying to do something for fun. And the race series that we're entering in September with the whole average Joe racing driver, like honestly, it's not to win a race, it's purely to show all you guys how much prep there is in trying to get a car and yourself ready to do a race event. I'm going to come last probably, but that's fine. It's more about the journey, right? And then you come in somewhere like this and you see something like this and you think, this is like the pinnacle of top race car prep, right? There is just nothing I've ever been anywhere near that's like this. And this car will be coming out this summer, and I'm going to be in the passenger seat with Marcin, and you bet I'm going to have his GoPro on. Right, I'm going to jump in the driver's seat in those wraparound buckets, and we're going to get a look. We need to climb over this carbon door bar here. The side skirt's absolutely massive. Ooh. Ooh. Right, so as you can see, I'm in a full wrap round bucket seat in here. Harnesses, 6-point harnesses, like the whole car's stripped out. We've got all of these buttons here from the ECU Master, which is obviously a standalone ECU. So we've got ignition, we've got start stop engine, we've got lights, we've got fans, we've got all sorts of different controls in here. Full Alcantara dash. Just look at this, look. I'm not going to put this on because I don't know how, but look at this. Look at that steering wheel. They've got different boost settings, different diff settings, different gear settings, pit limiters. This is some pretty serious stuff in here, and I am honoured to be able to even sit here, finding myself like in this garage with Marcin, being able to just be around all this stuff. When I started this YouTube channel, I probably didn't envisage that it was going to happen the way it has happened, but my God, what a time. Like, honestly, like, see, sitting in here, it feels like on the edge of the most dangerous thing that I've ever sat in, but also feels like incredibly safe. So I really can't wait to get in this with Marcin. When he gets back, I'm going to ask him to start it up right, and I promise you I'll include a clip of that in here, because it's full ethanol race fuel, no messing, and it's going to be, it sounds amazing. He started it up before, but he's away to pick someone up, but we'll get it started again when he comes back. Honestly, fire suppression, look, fire suppression nozzles everywhere in the back there, so you've got all the radiators and stuff, fire suppression system in there. Honestly, this is like full spec. Cannot wait to get out in this. Put the boot lid down so you can see this wing, right? So this is a genuine GT3 wing, and it's got adjustable aero on it, so that if you're on a track and the rear gets a little bit unstable when you're in the brakes, you can adjust it and it like levels off the back end. Look at the details, man. Mac. Mental. We're away back in, so I've been given permission to start it up myself, right? I remember how to do it since he showed me the first time, so I'm back in. We're gonna start this up. Look at the door bar. Right, give me a minute till I get the steering wheel on. Right, I've put us on super view mode to try and do this in here because it's such a tight space. So here we go, look. So ignition, this thing goes on, foot on the brake, let it warm up a wee minute. Look at the dash. Ignition. Listen to this. It's so insane, man. Listen. This is mental. Look at the dash, man. Reverse camera. Oh, ready? Bro, what is happening in here, man? It's pure ethanol, you should smell it, man. Oh, I'm getting a bit nervous in here, man. Right, I'm gonna turn it off. So, ignition, back off, and then steering wheel comes off, back up here, like that. Like, I know some people are going to think this is daft, right? But I'm sitting in here and my heart rate is so high. Just from being in this car and starting it up, it is so visceral, honestly. Mental. Oh, he's put the bonnet down, look at it. Look how good it looks from here, man. You can just already imagine it just right down the straight, man. Big track. Absolutely sending it, man. Honestly. I know I'm getting a bit like excited and overwhelmed here, right? But just being around all this stuff, like, it's fantastic. The work that's been into this, you can, honestly, it's so hard to even like fathom the work that's been into this. Now that we've done a wee mini tour, got a nice Focus RS sitting in here. I don't know if it's a customer's car, but nice. Okay, we're just going to wait for Marcin to show back up, and we'll get stuck in alignment wise on the Mini. Hope you enjoyed that wee tour of that car in there, man. I'm going to be as intrusive as I possibly can in the process today, right? But the Mini's up in the ramp now, so going to tackle the brakes and stuff first. So I'll document the process. So this is probably the first time we're going to actually get underneath the Mini and get a right good look at it. I can tell already by looking at it from here that it's a rust bucket underneath, because in the UK, after 10 years, a car gets rusty underneath. So the right thing to do would be get it all sandblasted and everything underneath and get it undersealed. But there's no budget for that right now. That will come. We need to focus on getting it ready for the track. But we did put a brand new scorpion downpipe on it, which looks really good. So, last video was the new brakes. Obviously we've done the discs and pads, but today we need to address this situation with the brake lines. That spacer can come off now, because we need to try out new spacers. But those discs are looking good, man. Looking good, the pads and everything. Even on the motorway there, on the way here, even without the new fluid and everything, there's a real bite on those brakes already, so I think we're going to be in a good place once the brakes are done. We've got a situation where the brake pipe is seized onto the brake line, so there's smoke coming out of the arch right now, but he's basically getting this released for us. Oh yeah! There we go. That's it up. That's the brake line off. Yep. what does that do then? Does it heat it up? Yeah. Is that just heat? Is that all? No blowtorch? Just that? Because I nearly set the car on fire when I was trying to do it with a blowtorch. I set the arch line on fire.
There's only so much you can do on your driveway.
I know. So that machine there was basically just like heat on a stick, and it was like heating up the brake line where it was joined, so that you can get it off, because it was totally seized. Thank God for professional help now. So that pipe, so the top pipe is like a copper pipe and it goes up into the ABS module. So we had got it seized there.
Steel pipe.
Right, I've just been corrected by the master here. So it's a steel pipe, not a copper pipe, but it goes up to the ABS module, and we were hoping to not have to replace it all the way back to there, because that's a bit of a pain. But it looks like the day has been saved. I bet these braided lines will be on this car in about 10 seconds. another issue that happened. We think it happened on the track, the first track day. If you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it. But we were having all sorts of brake fade issues at the end of the day, and we got ABS traction control fault, but it was intermittent for a while, and now it's permanently on. So definitely wheel speed sensors. So we've got, Liam, let's see one of them, mate. So we've got brand new Bosch wheel speed sensors. Let's see a face. We'll tell that story another time. We're still traumatised. But yeah, wheel speed sensors. So also, thanks to Mac, they're going to just fire them on for us, because it would have took us ages, and he's going to do it in 5 minutes in the ramp. So that'll clear the ABS traction control fault, and that'll be away. So we'll have the advantage of using these brand new brakes with the new fluid and also having ABS. So every single bolt underneath this car is rusted, and he's having to heat them all up to get them off. So this is the wheel speed sensor one, is rusted now. I'm just leaving the camera rolling here, catch as much clips as I can. But there's the wheel speed sensor there, so it's not melted, but something's been rubbing against it, look, up here. So something's been rubbing against it, and that's what's damaged it. So we need to try and make sure that that doesn't happen again. We were just talking there about what might have happened to that wheel speed sensor, and the boy with the black eye over there, Liam, he remember he was in the gravel, so we never got a full video of the full 360 into the gravel, but the undertray and all the brakes and everything was squealing, making noises on the way home. The whole car was full of gravel, so the chances are a wee bit of gravel's got in there and wrecked that wheel speed sensor, and that's why we've been getting an intermittent fault, but then it's obviously just got so bad. So brand new sensors should fix that. We found the culprit for the damaged ABS wheel speed sensor. So right in the little pocket that it fits into, there's a bit of rust in there, and it looks like it's just been rubbing on the edge of the sensor over the time. I don't know how old those sensors are. They're not from new, definitely, but they could be years and years old. As you know, we bought this car off another owner. So yeah. So anyway, just cleaning that wee area out just now and putting the new wheel speed sensor in, and we'll be away. So it looks like it was the driver's side sensor that was causing the issue, but we'll replace both anyway, because when we get to the track, we want to make sure that we've got ABS when we're hitting the brakes at the end of the straight, especially for the 8th of February track day, because the chances are in Scotland it'll be snowing. I'll bang my head. So we're underneath the Mini. This is the first time we've actually had this up in a ramp, so it's got a wee look, right? It's actually nice and clean at the back. Look, I'm just going to tilt the camera. Everything's nice and clean here, but when you get to the subframe at the front, it's quite rusty. So the bottom of the sump is very rusty. We've got a wee bit of oil weepage here, but that's fairly standard on these cars. This is a bit rough. But hey, this car is 14 years old, and it's survived this long in Britain. So that's 14 winters worth of salt all over the road and all over the bottom of the car. So it's all surface rust anyway, but hey. So wheel speed sensors are going on now. I'm using my phone light here, but that's where the wheel speed sensor connects up there. And the brake wear sensor. We don't need brake wear sensors, because they just get melted on the track, because the brake wear sensor plugs into the pad. So when the pads get really hot and the brake discs are glowing orange on the track, they just get melted. And obviously, with this being a track car, I don't need to be told that the brake pads are worn. I'll be vigilant watching the brake pads all the time, so I don't need to stress about that. So we can just have a warning light in the dash for that. But the ABS one needs fixed. Yeah. Everything that he pulls apart, there's just dust flying off it and mud. Shit in my eyes. I'm going to need to beep him out. Beep. Aye. Beep. Once it's done. Sorted. Hold that back down. There we go. So that's one wheel speed sensor on, and he done it in 5 minutes on a ramp. Look, listen, we're going to try and expand this business in the future and get ourselves a unit with a ramp, right? But Rome wasn't built in a day. So it's jacks and axle stands in the street until then, but obviously today is a bit different. But yeah. there's a wee pause in work at the moment, so we'll talk about this, right? So I mentioned this obviously in the previous video of the brake fitting. We didn't get this far, but this is Motul 660. So this has got a typical wet boiling point of 205 degrees centigrade and a typical dry boiling point of 325 degrees centigrade. I don't know an awful lot about brake fluid, but I'm guessing that the stock stuff boils a lot quicker than that, and that's why we were getting brake fade. So the braided lines and the fluid with a higher boiling point, the Godspeed discs and the Ferodo DS11 pads are going to basically take care of most of that. And at the level of driving that we're at, obviously we're not going to overcook these brakes. So the car should feel much different when we go on the track on the 8th of February. We're just talking there, right, about every single bolt here is as well just grinding it off, because it's like start fresh, everything's completely screwed. I've got some evidence under here that me and Liam last night, one bolt was stripped and we just went ham with the grinder. But do you see that? These bolts were all seized, look at that, man. I tried to get it off with a grinder, couldn't I? So I just cut the whole plate off. I was fed up, man, fed up with messed up bolts. How good is it to have an actual ramp, man, honestly? That's one day, mate, one day. How you feeling, mate? You alright?
I'm alright, bro.
You alright? You look at his face. I promise we'll tell that story. We're not ready to tell it yet. I couldn't sleep last night.
Yeah, wait, sure.
Wait a minute, can we see? Right, I tell you what we'll do, right? Comment if you can guess what happened to him, right? And it's related to cars, that's all I'll say. I'm smiling now, but I wasn't smiling when it happened. What plate dented itself? Well, I had the pipes off. Right, so 660 brake fluid going in now. I was too busy gabbing away there and not getting some footage, but the reservoir's open. Yeah, boy. So full flush, so the 660 is through the system. We'll be smashing it. So what I understand of this process is we have to crack the bleed nipples on the back of the calipers, and then he's got a little machine and going to use the brake pedal and he's going to pump the fluid through. So we'll have like the 660 will flush everything else through, and then we'll be running the right fluid. So I'm just going to set the camera up and watch whilst that's happening. Yeah, is there bubbles in it? Yeah. Quite a lot of air bubbles in it, but that little device there was pulling it all through, sucking it all through. That's what Matt Armstrong calls the Suki boy, innit? Or something like that. The gluck. Yeah, so that should be pulling all the air out of the system. I feel like these brakes are going to be well different now. Looking better now? Still bubbles. I mean, when you pull it through, it'll pull it into the bubbles through the bolt and stuff. So obviously when you let it go, you wait. The stuff coming out. It's good. Brand new wheel speed sensor there. Ideal. Everything's brand new. Sometimes you just need to bite the bullet and just buy brand new stuff, don't you? Because especially if you're going to be tracking a car, you want it to be spot on. Had a wee blockage in the breather there on the back of the caliper. Fixed it with some compressed air. Nice. Let's get a wee look at the engine bay actually. So you've seen the intake video, but this is it on the ramp now, look. A new breather should fix it.
You see stuff like that, we don't.
Looking good, looking good. Step by step, we're getting there. Oof, air bubbles, man. That was a wee bit cheeky there, man. That was quite good. So it was. I just asked him how much fluid does it take, and he says as much as it needs. Brilliant. Right, we're getting on, bleeding the system at the minute. 2 bottles of fluid down. We bought 4 just so we had extra. That's it, kind of clear.
Yeah, there's no air bubbles.
No air bubbles, that's what we're after. No air bubbles. That's what we're after, that's what we want. So, obviously I'm, again, learning today, but that system's basically pulling, basically sucks all the air through and basically pulls the fluid from the reservoir right through and then tries to get rid of all the bubbles. So, as soon as we see it coming clear out of there, we're sorted. So we're going to be at Knock Hill on the 8th of February with the Mini. That's the next traction track day. So the differences from last time is we've done wheels, tyres, alignment, discs, pads, fluid, new brake, new ABS sensors and all that. So the car will be feeling pretty different. We've got a wee surprise to go on the back, but that might not happen in this video, that might be another video. And I'll just prepare you right now. If everything goes to plan, that car won't look anything like that when it's at the track day on the 8th of February. I've mentioned a couple of times in the video, it's going somewhere special, it's getting dropped off and it's getting left there for a couple of weeks. And obviously there's going to be a journey on the YouTube channel with that. But if we get roll sixes, shall we say, the whole way to the 8th of February, this car's going to be very different. We have got some sponsorship deals that you couldn't believe. Like, there's no way I thought this was going to happen this early in the process, but it has, and we've got some amazing people on board working with us. I can't wait to announce them all. Obviously we started off with Bad Boy Tuning. They've been helping as well with the kind of performance parts and anything that I need to know about the Minis. But since then we've ended up with other suppliers who do other things that Bad Boy Tuning don't do, getting on board. So we've got lots to talk about. So yeah, 8th of February we'll be at Knock Hill, and I'm welcoming anybody that wants to come and say hello and have a chat with us or anything like that, maybe come and laugh at us for being so bad at dealing with cars. You are more than welcome to come and see us. So we'll be there 8th of February, traction track day. I just went for a wee trip to the shop there and I've come back, bleeding the back brakes now. So these are adjustable. Is that a rear lower control arm? Aye. So we've got the rear lower control arms came on this car. I never put them on, but they're adjustable. So I think that's going to allow us to do a bit of rear camber adjustment, which is obviously going to help fit the 225 tyres in, because we were really struggling when we first test fitted them to get them to sit right within the arches, but also not clash with anything on the inside. So we'll need to tackle that in a little bit. Happy? So we've got a rear, I think this is a brake pad wear sensor or something as well, look. So after the first track day, that was hanging out in the back of the car. And I was panicking, thinking it was something really bad, but it's not. Right, so Red Bull, usual. That's the brakes, all bled now and everything, so all sweet on that front. So I hope you enjoyed those clips of that work going on. A few cheeky wee drone shots in there as well. Moving on to alignment now, and then we will see how we go from there. So we're hoping that we can drive home with the track wheels on. We're hoping, but we'll see. So we're just trying to decide on spacers at the moment. So we've got these test spacers at the moment. These are 2.5 for the back, and then we're going to try and run a 10mm in the front. So we know where the issue is. We're clashing on the front, we're clashing with the bottom of the coilover, with the inside of the tyre wall, and on the back we're clashing with the rear, the lower suspension arm. So we just have to dial it in, get it up in the ramp, measure it, make sure it's good. So I'll get in close and I'll show you exactly what the issue is. So we're going to run this here just now. You can see where it's been kind of rubbing up here. So what we'll do is, obviously these aren't suitable for track use, these spacers, so what we'll do is, once we've found out what the exact kind of dialed in state of the car is, we'll order these but hub centric ones, and we'll replace them all for hub centric. And then that should, once we've dialed it all in, that should be as good. We're going to get a bit of rub on the arches, that's going to happen, but it will soon rub away the arch and then we won't have any issues. But the Nankang NS2R tyres have got a really hard enforced tyre wall, so I'm pretty sure that the tyre's going to win over a plastic wheel arch. But I guess we'll see. Well, like, obviously with the Mercedes A45S, I had a similar problem when I bought the spacers to begin with, so I put 15mm all round because I like that kind of, that like fat look. and I ran into the issue in the Merc with the rear tyres rubbing the rear arches, and it was the rear arches are metal on the Merc. It's not like trim, it's part of the body, and it was scoring the tyre wall with the Pilot Sport 4s. Obviously I don't want to ruin the tyre wall and have to replace the Pilot Sport 4s, so I dropped the back down to a 12mm spacer, left the front on 15, and the setup is just dialed in now, but I only had to make one change there. But it's the same, like, we're trying to run a 20mm wider tyre than standard, because these are 225s we're running, whereas factory fitment is 205 on a 7J wheel. We're running 225 on a 7.5J wheel, so we're trying to fit something in that wheel arch that was never really intended to fit there. So it's all about just dialing that fitment in, and when you work with guys like this, you start realising that there's fine tweaks and fine tuning, you know, 5mm of clearance here, 3mm of clearance there, so we're going to get it all worked out. First attempt. It looks so good, man. It looks so good. So much different. Very, very fat. PHAT. Fat. We're definitely going to have some issues with the arches. Just going underneath now to show you, but we've dialed in the front, right? So we were having issues where it was clashing with the coilover. It says it's fine now. I think we're going to have an issue with the arch, but let's get a look under here. Plenty of clearance up there now. It's really hard to see because I'm underneath the car, right? But basically the top of the tyre was clashing with the coilover, and it was rubbing on the bottom loop of the spring. We're running a 12mm spacer just now and it's clearing it. But I think we might run into issues with the arch, but we can shave a bit of the arch liner off. I mean, the tyre will do that to it anyway, but I don't want to be having mass amounts of rubbing on the track. So we're running 12mm at the front and it's pretty flush, as you can see. So, yeah, we just need to see how it goes when we drop the cars. We're going to have an issue one way or the other. We might have to shave a bit of the arch liner out, but yeah, I would rather do that than have rubbing on the inside. Does look good. Obviously we've got a little bit of poke happening here, right, on the outside. So when the body jumps up and down, which it's going to, we're going to definitely going to have a problem here. But the arch liner's basically falling to bits. So we need to shave a bit of the arch liner out, I reckon. But they're telling me to get adjustable camber plates for the top, so we can rock the front suspension arm over, the front coilover over a bit, and it will basically camber the top of the wheel in so it will clear the arch. But we don't have them right now, so that's going to need to be in the future. But we just want to get it dialed in as best we can right now. Under the car and we're checking, we've got clearance, look. Turning the wheel, so we had connection right here with that arm there last night. So now we're clear on the back, it's just the front, it's a bit of an issue. No spacer on the back and it's clearing, so we thought when we first test fitted the wheels that we were rubbing on the back, but we obviously weren't, just checked it there on the ramp. So we've got full clearance on the back with no spacer, which is good, and we've maybe got about 5mm of poke coming out of the wheel arch. I think we're going to destroy the wheel arches on this.
What, it's got a shit ton of space?
Yeah, there's about 5 or 6mm in there, maybe even more.
What, it's just these that are touching slightly, the nipples.
Right, okay, so we're clearing there then?
Thank you. If you want, you could shove, I don't know, a 5mm just to be sure it's not rubbing anywhere.
So it's definitely not rubbing, so don't think we need to bother with spacers in the back, so it's the front, we're having problems with the front. Clearance there then.
Saying that, but we might not be able to run home.
So clearance is fine. Happy days.
Yeah, that's the right one.
We just realised there, it took us a minute, we were messing about with the spacers that much, they're directional wheels, so we had them on the wrong way. I'm really worried about this directional tyres I meant there. We're worried about this front arch, this is definitely going to rub the whole way home, I think. Very fat. So maybe if we had ran 215s with 7J wheels, this wouldn't have been an issue. But we wanted the 225, and people, I've researched this, people run 225s. So people do figure out ways of doing it with different camber settings and stuff. So, we're not giving up with the 225s, we'll stick with them. We just need to do the rear lower control arms to tip maybe like a negative 2.5 camber in the back, and we need to get camber plates for the front so that we can tilt over the front strut as well. It's just a time thing now though, like we need to try and get that done before the track day. We'll figure it out. So let's get the wheels on the back now, and all as well. It's a chunky look on the wheels, man. I'm kind of concerned about the front, man, I'm not going to lie. But we'll just keep rolling, Right, so that's us clear on the front driver's side as well. Car's coming down now. We're definitely going to rub on those at the front.
Oh, they're sticking out quite.
She's chunky.
They're sticking out. It's sticking out more on this side.
Aye, but is the wheel not, the steering wheel's turned a little? Alignment time, let's see what's going on here. As I said, we've never had this car aligned, so it could be miles off, and we'll find out now. Yeah, man. Looks much different now, we're getting there. I like the stock wheels, the JCW wheels, but they're going to be transferred over onto my red Mini at some point. But yeah, she's looking chunky. Yes, man. Look how much it sticks out. Look at this angle, man. It's hard to tell in the camera, but it's sticking out, man. Aye, with Marson driving. It's a good look, isn't it? So, getting set up.
He likes it, but on the full type.
So this is all the good gear, man. Get us a full laser alignment. Love it. Liam's going in, look. That's sweet. And you get son? Handbrake, yeah, looking out.
Handbrake on.
Oh, my toes have got cramp.
You alright?
Aye, bro, I feel like a race car driver.
I'm trying to like film here, post TikToks all at the same time. It's quite a hustle, this, by the way. This is like techie stuff here. So this is part of the process of making sure that the wheels are in the right orientation, or, you know, correctly set up. So this is Marson going around the wheels with all the sensors and making sure that everything is set up correctly. So this was us just getting the alignment machine set up. So Liam from the channel was actually sitting in the driver's seat of the car, and Marson was giving him instructions on what to do to get the car set up and calibrated properly on the machine. So this was a really interesting part of the process. I've never been this close to an alignment before, so thanks again to the team at Mac for letting us get this close and seeing exactly what is required to get a car calibrated and set up before you can do an alignment. Calibration. Right, just we're getting set up here, talking about caster and all the other things. I'm not going to pretend that I know what he's talking about, but I'm asking him to explain through it. But I still need to let him get on with the job. So yeah, so we've got caster adjustments and everything going to happen. Liam is currently in the car turning the steering wheel, so as you can see at the top of the screen there, the machine gives you instructions basically, and you have to turn the steering wheel and kind of line it up with the line that's on the top bar there. This is all part of the calibration process. Again, really interesting to get this close. I don't know why we trusted Liam right enough, because after the alignment the steering wheel was squint. This is Liam in the car doing this, by the way.
It looks like he's driving a simulator.
There we go, man. Right, we've got some readings now.
Eyes were going off with there.
Yeah, can you stick steering wheel straight? You have to keep it like that.
Don't move.
With my foot on the brake.
Yeah.
Don't move, big boy.
I'm not.
He's got the harnesses on.
Jesus.
All over the place.
Yeah.
So what's this telling us?
So that one is camber. Camber is not too bad. If you're pulling that one is to 0, you gotta go to 1.5 probably.
Okay.
So that's just a bit out.
Okay.
It's my fault.
Easier is on the 0, so it's on the plus.
So what are we looking for in within 0.01?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a similar, you know, it's 0.07. It's a bit too high.
The rear wheels. So we were just looking at the rear wheels there, so we're pretty much out on most. Marston's wanting to dial it in a bit more, so we're going to play with the toe in, toe out and the camber adjustment to get it sweet. So yeah. You can see there. There's some people that are watching that will know this more than me, but yeah. Some issues to be fixed. These are the lower control arms that I talked about earlier. These are from a company called Hard Race, so these are adjustable. So this is Marston just using the spanner to adjust them, and that's basically knocking the bottom of the back wheel out a bit, which is giving us that negative camber that we're looking for as part of our track alignment. So he's adjusting the lower control arm and watching the screen from here and trying to get it bang on. Need good eyesight, man. I can't see that screen. I'm going to go and look at the screen so whilst this is happening.
So caster, you're so low caster. You see it as 2.5 degrees, over 2.5 degrees caster. I think this, you know, if you have 5, that will be perfect.
5?
So I can adjust the caster because you have to do it in just the F and arms to
Yeah.
the caster. Camber, 1 degrees, 0.5 degrees. So minus, so that will be, probably will adjust a bit on as well. Camber on the front, you don't have adjustable cambers on
The top plates, yeah.
So if I make it 2 on a 0, so we'll see what's it's like cambers on it. So we have to leave it like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So for us to do way more adjustment, as I mentioned before, we need
We have to change the suspension arms.
change the suspension arms and do the top mounts as well. So I'm going to look into that. I'm going to basically adjust the bottom bits here. We need to get them in. They can do that with the current setup of the car. But the coilovers and top mount situation that we currently have doesn't allow us to do all the adjustment that we would for proper racing. So as you've seen, I bought the red Mini Cooper S. That's got BC Racing coilovers and adjustable top mounts on it. So we might swap them over. But it's quite a big job, and the car's going away for 2 weeks from tomorrow. So we're not going to manage that before the 8th of February track day. But we'll get that track day out of the way. This new setup's going to feel very different for us anyway. And then after that, we'll take it back off the road and we'll swap parts. Marston's going to give me a guy's number that is from White Line Suspension, so I'm going to phone him as well, get some advice on what we do, you know, for all this stuff, and just take it from there. But we were always going to have these situations ongoing when we're trying to build a track car. So yeah, we're moving forward at a pace. He's grilling some burgers under there, man. We're trying to, he's having to heat the some of the suspension component bolts because they're just corroded and seized on, standard in it. More problem that we've got, which isn't too good. So this reading here, so we've got an issue where 2 bits of the suspension underneath are that corroded, that they're seized and they can't do the adjustment. So we basically need the steering rack end to be replaced. Obviously we can't do that right now, but in the track rod end, but we'll do that in future. So basically the car's going away tomorrow, as I mentioned, for a while. I'm going to speak to the person that's taking it and try and get them to work on our timeline and get it back up here for that to be replaced before the track, because Marcin's saying we've done quite a lot of work today, but he's not 100% happy in terms of track alignment. So just another little stumbling block, but we can get that sorted, just a few parts. So I'll text Marcin tonight and I'll get the parts, and then we'll try and get back here before the track day on the 8th of February. So it'd be good if it was where he wanted it to be before we go on the track, that's for sure. Yeah. So see the exact size of the coil parameter and back on the back. Right, that's us. So we'll get a wee summary when we get out, so the boys can get home. But Liam's just about to run the car out. So, and it's new format. Down right, nice and slow, nice and slow. Sorted. Chunky! Right, this is it. First trip in the car after all the work today at Mac Motorsport. Liam's just going to jump round in front of me. We need a momentum station. So I can already hear a bit of scrub happening in the back arches there. This is going to happen. I think we're going to end up scrubbing the back arches for ages, and then it's eventually just going to scrub itself away. But if we need to, we'll do a wee bit of rear arch manipulation, we'll call it, right? So we've got no ABS faults now. Hear it? If it's scrubbing now, it's going to scrub in the track, mate. So I'll say it a million times over in the videos, right? But I want to just special thanks to Marcin and the team at Mac Motorsport. When it gets to a point where we can't do any more than what we can do, and people like that they just come to your saviour day, like, you know. It's important to have a network of people like that. So if you're watching, thanks very much. What a day. It was really good to get in about it and see what's going on. So really happy with that. You can hear it, it's running nice, man. It's running nice. Right, we'll just get along the motorway now and we'll get to Tesco momentum station, and then we'll get our journey home started. We'll take it from there. Right, we're on the motorway now. So everything's sounding and feeling pretty good. We've got a wee tiny bit of scrub in the back when you're bumping, but I mean, is that not pretty normal? But the car feels like it's tracing all. It feels so tight.
Warming up the tyres, man.
I know. Need to warm up the tyres now. Yes, man, feels so good. So initial thoughts: the tyres are obviously wider and a more square fitment, so they feel much different on the road. we've cleared the issues with the scrubbing on the inside of the suspension components, which obviously we had some major issues there with the front wheels hitting the bottom of the front coilover, so that's clear. So to summarise it, it feels way better. The brakes feel amazing. The brakes feel absolutely amazing. So aye, big day man, big day. I'm going to shut the video down there because the footage that we got today is so long. I don't think the journey home is the most exciting thing for anybody on the channel, so I hope you enjoyed all of that today. Like, really nice big day being there and getting to see what's going on, and the team at Mac Motorsport letting us kind of just be all around the car. Some places are kind of funny about that type of thing. Yeah, but it was quite important to us to be able to get in the process, so it was really good. So you've seen what went on in the video. The next time you'll see this car, it's going to look way different, and it should hopefully be at a racetrack. Yeah, we've got a few bits to do before then. If you enjoyed today's video, it was a bit different, really good. Some of the stuff with the Seat Leon and the Supra and all that included. Hit like, hit subscribe, drop us a comment, let us know what you think of everything that we've done today, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.